Good morning, students. Welcome to Business Studies 11th Commerce. Today we are going to start with the forms of business organization. There are various forms of business organization which we are going to study in the second chapter. But what is business organization? It refers to the business structure. How is our business structure is called as business organization. Now on the screen you can see there are different types of business organization. Number one, sole proprietorship, joint Hindu family business, partnership, joint stock company and cooperative society. Let us start one by one. So today we will move towards sole trading concern. But before going ahead, let us see how do we choose among these five which one is the best one for us. So to choose the business organization, first the nature of business is the most important factor. What is the nature of your business? The second comes the scale of operation. That means whether your business is on a smaller level, medium level or on a larger level. So that is very important. And size of the market. You're doing business on a local level, on a national level or on an international level. According to that you have to choose the forms of business organization. And what is the amount of capital required for the operation of a business on a smaller level, middle level or on a large level? Even the volume of risk and liability is very important factor. So you have to consider that along with tax liability. Now, what do you mean by sole proprietorship? The word sole itself says that single, and proprietorship means a businessman, a trader. So, sole proprietorship means a business which is run by a person alone. A single person running a business by himself is called as sole proprietorship. That means ownership, management, and controlling is in the hand of one person, one individual. This form of business is called as sole proprietorship. Ownership, management, and control in the hand of a single person is sole proprietorship. Now, the meaning of sole proprietor you already know. A sole trader is a person who does this business, and business is called as sole proprietorship. He is a person who carries on a business exclusively on his own account and at his own risk. There is no one to share the risk. There is no one to contribute for the capital. What is definition of sole trader? It is a form of business which is owned, managed and controlled. Owned, managed and controlled by an individual. It is the simplest, it is the oldest and the simplest form of business established with a limited resources, because he has a limited resources. He has a limited ability. He has a limited capital, and this is called as sole trader. Now, what are the features of sole proprietorship? Number one, single ownership. Obviously, it is the ownership is single because he is the alone person who is running the business. So, ownership, management, and controlling is in his hand. No separate entity. Here, there is no separate entity in the eyes of government because the businessman is alone handling all the business. So, business and he both himself both are not a separate in eyes of law. They both have same identity, so it is called as no separate legal identity. Next come capital. So here capital is limited. Capital is his own savings, or we can say his own property, but he may have taken loan on his own name. So capital is also limited in case of sole proprietorship. Next comes formation. Formation is very simple and easy to form the sole proprietorship because no more legal formalities are required, only very less like licensing and all is required. No government interference is there, no act is there to be registered by sole proprietorship. Risk bearing, the next feature. Risk bearing is alone in his case. Whatever is the profit he alone will enjoy, that is a merit, but the demerit is also risk bearing. He alone takes a decision, he alone controls the business, so he alone is a risk bearer. Unlimited liability. Here we can say unlimited liability means whatever the liability he is supposed to pay and he is not able to pay, so the creditor can cover his money by the business property. But if he is not able to still cover up his debt, then he can use his personal property also. When we say unlimited liability, that means sole proprietor's personal properties also is at danger. Next come management and control. So obviously management and control in here is in the hands of owner, that is single person. So management is taken care by him, even the all decisions are taken by him. Continuity. Obviously the business should be in a continuity. He is a single person, he has to keep on doing business. He cannot say that it should be on a regular basis. It cannot be said that in a month he will run the business for 20 days and rest 10 days he will take a rest. No, there should be continuity in his business, and this is called as sole proprietorship. Next comes the merit of sole tradership. Easy to form, very easy, because no government rules and regulations. Easy to close because it's not registered by any act, so easily you can also close the business. Flexibility, easily it can be changed, any decision can be changed, any structure can be changed, even the supplier can be changed, product can be changed, because he is the alone decision maker. No need to take a any suggestions from anyone, any advice from anyone. He alone has to take a decision. So he takes a third one, that is quick decision can be taken. He don't have to consult with anyone, he can take a quick decision. Secrecy can be maintained, he do not disclose any information out. He is alone, so the maximum secrecy is maintained in sole proprietorship. Direct incentive, whatever is the extra amount, whatever the incentive, the direct sole proprietor will get extra profit, he will get. Sense of accomplishment, he should have a sense of accomplishment that it's everything is belongs to him, his business, his employee, his profit, everything. So that gives a merit to sole tradership. Personal touch, he can have a personal touch with his employees, with the customers, with the suppliers. So why? Because he's alone who deals with everything. He is the one who takes a decision. Low overhead cost, so whatever cost he is doing, he should pay attention on that, make more saving, so he will have more profit. Minimum government interference or regulation, as there is no act, no more of legal formalities are required, so no more government interference. Social importance should be there, good quality product should be given, something should be done for the society. Next is demerits of sole proprietorship. Limited capital, because he alone brings the capital. Uncertain life. Now if suppose in case something happens to a sole proprietorship, then there will be an end of the sole proprietorship. That means business will come to an end. Unlimited liability, already we have discussed what is unlimited liability. So it's a demerit because his personal property is also in danger. Limited managerial ability, he alone does everything. He is the one who controls, he is the one who is the owner, he is the one who manages. So he cannot give 100% in everything. So it has a limited ability. Unsound business decision, he is alone to do everything, so there are chances where he will not take a, in case of a quick decision, he may not take a right decision as well as. The non-availability of economics of large scale, so here even he is not able to take his business from a smaller scale to a larger scale, or to a low from medium to a larger one, because he is alone to do all this thing. Everything is limited, capital is limited, his managerial skill is limited. So in this case, these are the merits of sole proprietorship. So here we have understood the features of sole proprietorship, merit and demerit of sole proprietorship. Keep on connected to us. In next video, we are going to study about joint Hindu family form. Thank you so much.